Welcome to another Wednesday evening and to Stillness from the Shed. Let's take a moment to look at God's Word together. According to the Met Office, we have just lived through the hottest spring on record. Now I know that's not easy looking out the window today, but that's true. These last 3 months have been beautiful weather-wise. In terms of heat, they've been amazing. Online sales of air conditioning units have quite literally gone through the roof. However, I think the best way to stay cool, particularly in the summer, is to purchase, well, a great British tradition, the traditional ice lolly. I reckon that this is the best way. You see, I've already started this one a little bit, but us Brits, we eat a staggering 7.5 litres of ice cream per person per year, spending an eye-watering £1.1 billion on ice lollies alone. In fact, we like ice lollies so much, back in 2018, the Royal Mint put a set of coins together celebrating the very first time ice cream was served at the Festival of St George at Windsor Castle in 1671. The 50p piece, well, that had an ice cream with a flake in it. Must be deflation. I remember when those were called 99s. You see, in the days when ice lollies were really popular, they seemed better. When I was a kid, we can all remember their names were better. What about the Sparkle or the big daddy of them all, the Jubbly? But you know the best thing about ice lollies in those days when I was growing up? Well, to be honest, it was the stick. You see, on the stick was something that you wouldn't find. They were jokes, a bit like cracker jokes. They weren't particularly funny. You know, why are castles always dark? Because they're full of knights. But you know, anticipating the punchline was brilliant. You see, you never had the full joke until you bitten, licked, eaten your way through the rest of the ice lolly. And, well, all you had on one side was the question. The answer, well, that was going to have to come later. Like most children, I hated waiting for the punchline. I wanted it now. I wanted it right now. Do you know, it's hard, in all honesty, to think about waiting, even in our day. Our world's changed. There's no such thing as nipping out to the shops these days. You need to be those who take a little while. We have to be patient. Some of you have been patient and stayed indoors. Yet our modern society, our world, still wants to be an instant world. Waiting is especially difficult in experiences that are tough or painful or unexpected. We're tempted to despair, even of life sometimes. We want the answer. We want it now. Waiting is frustrating. However, as someone once said, usually you have to wait for the thing that's most worth waiting for. In the Bible days, there were those who had to wait patiently, those who had to figure out what God was saying to them. Abraham, Joseph, Moses, David, Paul, all had to wait to receive the answer to God's word. Yet everything happened in that meantime, in that period of waiting, prepared them, strengthened them inwardly as well as outwardly for the future. God still works like that. Even during those long, frustrating roads of seeming silence from heaven, those Bible characters were cared for deeply by God. And God deeply cares for you. Things are changing. The world's changed. Maybe some of us have changed. But God's plan hasn't changed for us. These months of crisis never took God by surprise. Rather, it was a time that's been allowed for us to sit up, to have a new reality, to learn new things, not least to be patient. Isaiah 40 says this, "For those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up on wings like eagles. They will run and not be weary. They will walk and not faint." Did you hear that? It's worth waiting, being patient, for the promise of God will come, however anxious, confused, or low you might feel. God will still use this time to raise you up, that you might soar in the years to come. Well, the ice creams and the ice lollies, well, I don't know how many of these we're going to be eating this summer in 2020. But God's love is all around us. And in those moments that you need, maybe even today, hang on in there. Wait for the Lord, for his plan, for his promise, and for his purposes. Thank you so much for joining me and Treacle, who enjoyed the ice lolly so much. I hope to see you on TCC online on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day, and I hope that you will know the blessing of God in all that you do.